Hi everyone, welcome to the webinar of Semanto. My name is Johan and we will start now because we're waiting a little bit until everyone will be in here. And well, it's our very first webinar. I'm here with Khalid Aziz and we have also a guest, Matthias, on the line. And let's get started. Thank you for joining us. We're gonna share the screen now, meaning you might not see us anymore. But you will see the screen. If you can't see anything, please write us a message because then we can see and can help you a little bit if the technology, if everything works out.
Perfect. So let's just get started with a few words about Semanto quite quickly, and then we'll go into more of the actual workshop part of it. So really understand how to use the text analytics, what does it mean about text analytics and AI, and how you can use it for your business. And then we'll go into a couple of use cases. We also have Matthias on the line who's actually been using our product and has some questions about it, but also improvements about how to go forward with it. And I think that will be really useful for us all. So very quickly about what Semanto is and what to expect from today. So first of all, we're going to talk a little bit about what we're going to do today. Then we're going to go into the AI-based text analytics. We'll go into a live demo of the Survey Insights platform, also introducing some brand new features that are up to date. We have an expert interview with Matthias afterwards, and then at the end of it, we'll go into a Q&A session where we can really go into any of your needs and any kind of unclarities that are out there.
Maybe also just one word for the Q&A session. Since it's a webinar, we can't really talk to each other. But what you can do is to write in the chat function, and then we'll answer those questions based on that.
So very quickly, so Semanto, we're based in Nuremberg in Germany. We have a few offices around the world. We're around 70 employees, many different nationalities working together. And we're a very kind of research-driven company. So we have a large research team made up of psychologists, linguists, and AI experts. And we'll go into a bit of detail why that's very important here. And we really try to publish as much as possible so that we're in the education committee and that we're in the whole community of people and trying to advance AI for actually everybody, especially in the area of text analytics and how understanding text and understanding the psychological background behind text really gives you amazing value for your business. Why did we come to this idea actually? So just very shortly, our backgrounds are forensic psychologists. So we come from actually a profiling area where we were looking at actually working psychopaths and this kind of things. And then about 15 years ago, I was working at the universities and we teamed up with some AI guys and actually some people from market research. So we have a bit of a market research background as well. And we decided, how do we bring the psychology and AI to make the first text algorithm that can look at not just what is exactly being said, but exactly why it's being said. So really understanding the intention behind it. And that was really the birth of Semanto. And then because we came from a market research background, we started to use it mainly into consumer insights to understand what consumers really think by using text, and that from any kind of text that we can find. And that's why we kind of made it into a product. And this is how we made the machine to really understand opinions. So really what people think about and actually care about, what people really need. So really the intrinsic motivation, intrinsic needs of somebody. So not just what they are saying as like functional things, so I like this or that, but really understanding why they're saying that for. The emotions behind it, to get a really understanding on the human side, more the personal side of somebody. So how important is this, what they are saying, based on the emotions of someone that's displaying? The motivation, once again, so how do we actually detect that? So how do we detect why people are writing something, why people are doing something in terms of behavior? And of course, then also personality there. And this personality part is extremely exciting because it's something that stays very stable. And all of these things we can understand in text. And we're doing this at the very start in 9 different languages, which means that we're trying to make it as international as possible. So how does it actually work? There's three major areas. So first of all, we take it anywhere where we can find natural language. That's where people are talking naturally, where consumers are talking, where employees are talking, where it doesn't matter. So really understanding where there's unstructured text or structured text from either surveys or social networks, review forums, news sites, chatbots, CRMs. I mean, a huge amount of different kind of sources where there's text. It goes into our platform, which is based on AI, so deep learning. But the importance of that means is that it can be done cross-lingual, that we always wanted to do anything that we do, that we can scale this across. So we learn in some languages and we transfer that learning into some other languages too. We have adaptation, meaning that it can go to different industries. Super important, meaning that we don't want it to be just very narrow in what we're doing. So it has to work across different industries, but still keep this accuracy. And self-evolving, meaning that if it's not performing fantastically, we want it to get better. And we want it to always keep better, and that's a never-ending story. And that's why the reason why we decided to go through the AI approach and why we built the AI team is for that part. And finally, it has to be connectable. So it has to be very easy for users to be able to connect it to their own systems, but also be able to do their own work on there without needing us, basically. So that was really the core parts of what we are doing. And just some use case before we go into the actual main part of this presentation. So some of our clients are really using it for more of their brand. So understanding when people are talking about their brand and their brand health, to understand not just what features that they like, but really how emotionally engaged they are. We know that emotional connection is a huge aspect of why people stay loyal to a brand. And that's why a reason why this is one of the most important KPIs which have now come into play. Secondly, how do you build products that have the right personality of the audience? How do you not just build something that you're not sure is going to be right for the market and then try to message it, but really start building and designing products that actually meet the personality of who you are trying to reach? And that's what we try to find now. We're working with a lot of FMCG brands and consumer brands to start helping them build their products around that based on feedback from social media, the CRM systems, customer feedback, to create products that can be launched very quickly. And of course, if you know all of that, then the messaging part gets a lot easier. I think the messaging part comes into play because then you also know the psychological attributes of your users or your potential consumers. You know, because we work very linguistically, what kind of words, what kind of languages and sentences they use, so that you can put it the other way around and start exactly messaging how they want to be messaged based on everything that we know about. And finally, going into customer satisfaction, when people start complaining, when people start answering questions, how do you actually analyze all that feedback data? So not just in a numerical form, which is very important, but actually the juice is always in the actual text. So how do you know exactly what is driving better customer satisfaction? How do you know what is driving your complaints? How do you know how to react to your complaints? This is a huge part of what we are doing at the moment through this text analytics. Going forward as well, I mean, this is just a snapshot of some of the clients. So it's been used around the world in many different languages, but also many different industries. But also more and more now, actually, agencies are now using this for their own clients as well. So not just our end clients that currently use it as well, but a lot of the new product that we've been launching over the last 4 or 5 weeks and testing, and we're going to go through that a lot today, has actually been used by clients who have their own clients, but have a large number of text data, especially kind of survey data or review data, and needing to be done that a lot faster, keep their accuracy, and of course a lot cheaper, so that they can serve their clients better. So that's really the main part about Semanto. Now let's get down to the actual juicy part, and I'll give this over to Yuan.
Okay.
She's way better than that.
Okay. So before we start like going into the things, like we just wanted to, before we start showing you actually the surveillance platform itself, we want to talk a little bit more about like what does it actually mean. I think some of you already have seen some of our capabilities, knowing what it really means using AI in this text analytics. First of all, let's see what it really means when it comes to text analytics. We know that it's about topics and sentiment. There is, though, a huge difference in terms of how topics and sentiment are being analyzed. First of the things, let's see, this comment, what we have here is an example which says it's a great sounding speaker However, its bass is too boomy for smaller rooms, sounds not bad outside, and battery life is peng. So let's start analyzing this. We know already, like from lots of market standard text analytics tool in this case, we have to define the topics first. So saying, because we know we are in an audio environment, we'll be looking for topics like speaker, bass, and battery life. And if these things are predefined at the very beginning, we might find them as well in the analytics. When it comes to sentiment, it will find the sentiment words like great, which is a positive sentiment word, smaller, which is normally in general a negative sentiment word, bad, a negative word. It will count them all together, and as a result, we'll find out that this comment is a rather negative comment than anything else. When we use though our AI-driven approach, then we have the advantage of not predefining the topics, meaning the AI tells us actually from everything which it has seen already, what kind of things, what kind of themes are appearing here. So we might find also the word sound, the topic sound, because although we don't have predefined, we didn't predefine it, we will see that people are talking about this. And at the same time, when it comes to sentiment, we will have a better understanding of how they really describe the sentiment, what it really means. Meaning we'll find phrases like great sounding, too boomy for smaller rooms, sounds not bad outside, and peng. Peng in this case is something really interesting because peng is a word which not everybody knows. For example, it's also one of the advantages not predefining the sentiment term, meaning peng is a language evolution, I would call it. How, for example, UK people, young UK people nowadays say excellent. So it's kind of a slang, but the AI will be able to find it and say this is a positive word. And that's not all though, because the beauty starts then when you really understand the relation between the topics and the sentiment. That means we know that the speaker is great sounding, the sound is not bad outside, and the bass is too boomy for smaller rooms, and battery life is excellent for peng. On the other hand, because of our roots also, like being in psychology, we can find out a little bit more than that, meaning the structure of the statement and the way how it is being described, and knowing that it's very detailed. I mean, the descriptions are very detailed. We understand the person behind that. We know that this person is much more rationally driven. It's a fact-oriented person when he or she builds opinions, and we know this type of person is much more information-seeking than action-seeking. Why is this actually really helpful is to see in the next, because then we know exactly how to reach out to these type of people, how to resonate in the communication, how we talk to them. Meaning we provide facts, we stay much more logical and pragmatic in our structure in the sentence, how we convince them, and we need to be very detailed when it comes to providing information. And that's not all, because we have also the emotion analysis here, which tells us actually that this comment or this area, the speaker environment for this person is a joyful experience. So it goes much further. It goes beyond sentiment, beyond that it's just positive. As a summary, before we go ahead to the platform, just very quickly, what the benefits of a psychology AI is that, first of all, we don't have predefined topics. That means the AI gives us already the suggestions of all the topics, themes it has identified in this data set. It has a higher accuracy, for example, when it comes to negations, not very good. These kinds of things, the AI can find it, whilst a keyword approach doesn't. And it gives us more context, since it really tells us the relation between topics and sentiment. Also, understanding the person behind is one of the good things, that we really know who is it actually with whom we're dealing, and knowing also how to resonate with them, especially going beyond sentiment, knowing exactly how their emotional experience actually with your product, with your service or your brand is. So now actually I would love to show you the platform itself. And as we said already, this platform has been launched already 4 weeks. I think it's exactly 4 weeks ago now. And since then we have done also some kind of like more launches or feature releases as well. I'm going to put another screen on top. I'm just putting it right now. Please bear with me for a second. Well, difficult. I would like to ask you if you can see the screen now. I hope yes. If not, please let me know. I see here in the chat. Yes, you can see the screen now. Perfect. Khalik just ran out to be, let's be very honest. Khalik just ran out to see if we can see the screen, but we will just continue. Okay, good. First of all, when you go to the site, I think some of you already know how it looks like, and you will see how it looks like. So if you log in, you have the possibility on this interface to create your new project, which is quite simple as a first feedback, what we've heard, meaning you can type in here the project name, what it's going to be. I want to talk about, for example, employee survey. You choose the language, what it is about. For example, English. You can put here a project description, or let's do it properly, EMPS survey. And if you want, you can put here also a header image, which makes it maybe a little bit more customized. And now, here we go to the next step. Then you have this part where you upload your data, what you have already. It's very simple to do it because you can simply, I have everything already prepared here. You can simply just drag and drop the things, meaning here is the input file, which we're gonna upload. And it's already uploaded. Before we go to the next step though, I just quickly want to show you the input file itself. As you can see, it's a simple Excel file. And I make it a little bit bigger so that you can see it. The first two columns are the most important ones, meaning you have a post ID, meaning this is the unique ID for every comment or every respondent you have. And then you simply put all the text comments in here, as you can see. And all the rest of the columns are actually those ones which you can use as a meta field. Because we know sometimes you want to have the analysis done by time span, you want to have it by sources, you can have it by departments. This is an employee satisfaction survey or reviews. That's why you can have it by department or by position. So you simply can add anything you need for further analysis. Once when you've uploaded it, we go to the next step and you can choose here again which column is actually the real text processing column and which ones do you want to use actually as a filter option. For you to have it a bit easier, you have the possibility to have a preview modus. So you see what's exactly in each column actually, so that you know, you can remember again, okay, this was the text column. And let's say for the filter options, we want to use in this case source, department, and position. You can put some weightings here as well. This is one of the features we've developed also with one of our clients. It was exactly because in some surveys you have the option or you want to weight some of the questions differently or some of the respondents differently, and that's why we have it here as well. But in this case, we're not going to use it. So let's go for start analyzing. Like this, you have it already set up, and it will take a few minutes until everything is done. But instead of waiting for this, I will show you now, which we've ran through already. So we called it basic AI employee satisfaction. And we see we have here analyzed around about 1,000 comments. And you can see then here actually what's everything analyzed, what's been analyzed. One of the things how you can then really understand this is I would like to show you actually what these colorings and everything means. So you see here, for example, in red, meaning a negative sentiment term which has been identified, incompetent. Blue means it is a topic which the AI has identified, and green means actually something which is positive. If you see it in a bold character, that means that there is a relation, as we said, between the topic and the sentiment identified, means a incompetent manager is always yelling, meaning that the manager is incompetent and always yelling. And that's, for example, the way how you can read then here the data itself. You remember the meta fields we have added earlier in the Excel file as well. You have them here as a filter option, and you can choose, for example, by department. And let's say we only want to see the results for sales. Simply click it, you filter, then you have only the 183 results made by sales department, and you have only the analysis for them. You can do it also for the sources, meaning you can use your own survey data you've got, or for example, review data from the internet you can add here as well, and you simply just filter it and you see the results. Before we go into the overview chart, I actually would like to go into this topic editor, which is a little bit here to explain, but it's fine. So what we're going to see here is how the AI has really identified the topics and the themes. We see, as we said, we didn't tell the AI anything, or we didn't give any keywords, any topics which we have to look for. So these are the things the AI itself has found already. There are quite a lot, and at first glance, it might be maybe even too much. That's why then, normally, we want to make it a little bit more customized for my purpose, for our purpose. And we will start thinking about, okay, how can I really code this, structure this in a way, how I need it. So then I start looking into this and see lots of topics. How I use it is simply knowing that it's an employee environment. I know already how I want to code this actually. So I would say, I know that from everything which is here, there will be like one area which will be called benefits. And then I can look into here and say what belongs actually to benefits. And you see here, for example, cars, which is car, company car, driver and truck and so on. I can say I want to put this into the category benefits, simply drag and drop into benefits and you have it there. You can also have some other things, for example, I will see here, chances that you have like different opportunities. If you want to categorize it into benefits, simply drag and drop into here. Another area, for example, I think makes really sense by reading this subcategories, these topics which the AI has seen, is I want to have a category called leadership and management. I just simply edit, and then I can talk about, I want to find everything which is regarding to leader. So I Google, I search it here, put it into here, and then I want to see also anything regarding managers. So I see here management. Put this into this as well as this one, and I have these two new categories. And in this way, you can really simply categorize everything which is here according to your actual need. We also see here that some of the things which the AI has detected are less relevant to this topic, to this employee satisfaction. That is mainly also because this is kind of, that's why it's called basic AI, meaning it's not one industry special, it's not like customized for one industry. It is really the basic AI that it finds all the topics in this world. And that's why we would say some of them we want to eliminate. They are not relevant for us. Then we just simply click on these three buttons and click on delete, then it will be gone. Or you also can rename them if you think the name of this category is wrong. Just simply change it that way. We told you that within the last 4 weeks, actually, we've collected also lots of like feedbacks from the first users since we have launched it. And we have to say, for some people, or for example, for Matthias, for Quantilope, or for example, for some other like companies we're working with, they are kind of used to this environment and they know how to use it, drag and drop and these kind of things. But we have seen that it's not very easy and simple for a first-time user. And that's why as one of the improvements, what we've done here is, what we want to show you is, we have implemented another way of helping you to make your work actually easier using this feature, meaning upload dictionary. What does it mean, upload dictionary? This is because, as I said, this tool, what you've seen right now, is based on a basic AI, meaning like the basic AI algorithms we have developed over the years. But of course, we have like some kind of customized possibilities to train the AI more into custom data sets and to have it like more for an industry or for one customer, for example. And that's why then we can really build this categorization, this structure for you, very much customized. And then you can have your own structure to upload it here, like this way. Also very simply to drag and drop and upload it. Once when you have uploaded this, then you will see actually the results in this way. It takes a bit of time, that's why I just jumped to the next one. And compared to the other structure you've seen before, you see that here it is a much more structured way. And as I said, this is because we have trained these algorithms, this categorization, really based on only employee relevant data. And that's why the AI also finds like better kind of like topics which are more relevant to this. And we have done already this pre-work kind of thing to customize it to this area, to name them in a way that you really can start something with it. You can see in this case, for example, for leadership and planning, you've got like follow through, leadership, and all the tokens, all the way how people talk about leaderships are already integrated into this classification modus. Having this structure actually then really helps you to explore the data in a more meaningful way. Let's see in the structure, in the charts, in the overview. First of all, let's see what everything has been identified in this data set. We've seen that people are talking about associates, overall perception, low culture pay benefits, and so forth. You can then click into pay benefits and see actually what are they exactly talking about pay benefits. So what are the other under themes, topics, which has been classified into this category. You see salary, pay, general benefits, vacations, healthcare, and so forth. For example, if we look into healthcare, you see how they describe their positive experience with it, that it's great, its contribution is excellent, and so on, and how they describe it also in a negative way. Maybe let's go for one which is a little bit with hiding, staff employees. So when they talk about staff employees in a positive way, you see also what do they talk about else in this context. So they talk very often positively about the company perception itself, about the environment and the atmosphere, and that they are very supportive. And the role perception, what kind of role they have, is kind of a thing which they really perceive as a positive thing, together with staffs and employees to be being positive. What is very interesting, what we've heard also from our users, from our first users and clients, is actually that this part that you see really how they describe their positive experience or their negative experience is one of the things which our clients very much appreciate, because like this you have a much better overview going beyond sentiment, as we said, knowing exactly how the experience is being described and perceived. Underneath, you have the option to see also the real text, the real comments behind that. You see the classifications once more. And you have here also the emotions. What kind of emotions are identified in this data set? And you have a simple overview of word clouds, that you have the first overview, like what is being perceived positive and negative and so forth. After this, so once you have all the analysis done, you have the possibility to export the data, and you just start the export process here. You can limit the results, because if you have too many, you just can say you just want to have a random sample data set of 1,000, then you can have just 1,000, keyboard, randomize the results, not, and you can choose here what kind of columns you want to have exported. And once when you export the data, you will get a notification underneath knowing that data is exported. And actually, that is also one thing we are working on, because one of the first feedbacks we've got from our first users is that the export files can be a little bit simpler. So we are working on that, and I'll let you know also when it will be released. Good. That's it actually from the platform itself. What I want to do now is coming back again to, I'm just struggling a little bit to come back again to the presentation. Here we go. Good. And I hope that everybody can see again, and I assume yes. So one of the things like we have as a upcoming features, as we said, or which is already being implemented from the learnings what we've heard, thankfully very much, we really appreciate all the feedbacks from our first users. The custom AI option, meaning that we really help you to set up the very first like classification models, as you've seen in the topic editor. We want to really help you with our knowledge, with everything what we've got within the last years. And that's one of the things we have just released, or we're just releasing right now. And then another one thing which I really want to mention here is, it's just about to release, is we have identified that there is kind of a need when you read the comments that you really want to change immediately while reading the comments to add a new topic or to change the sentiment, for example, within the comment without going to the topic editor view, as you've seen earlier, to make it a bit simpler, that you have it easier to change things if you need them. So these are the very soon upcoming features that we have planned already. And That's it so far for the Survey Insights platform. I think we would like to talk a little bit now more with Matthias.
So yeah, so I think at this point, I'd really like to see actually how people are using this and what kind of value they're getting, what kind of problems there actually are now, and what you would prefer to have in the future as well, so that we can work on. I think the best way to do it is to get one of our first users, Matthias from Quantilope, who was a fantastic company who are using this for the text analytics. And I'd like to really bring in Matthias now to just say a few words about himself, to talk a little bit about Quantilope very quickly, and then really go into detail to why are we working together on this.
Yeah, hi, this is Matthias from Quantilope. Thanks for inviting me, colleague. Yeah, we've been now talking with Simanto for about over a year, but I think for context, it's really useful to give you an overview of what Quantilope actually does, right, as a company. So why is it so valuable for us what Simanto actually does? So at Quantilope, I'm responsible for all things partnerships and integration-wise. So it makes sense that I'm today here. What we are a Hamburg-based company focused on agile insights. And agile insights, that means that we have automated the market research process to make market research a lot faster and more efficient. So we've actually been founded in 2014 and are now at roughly 120 employees. And we conduct about 10,000 quantitative market research studies per year. And that's also the important part. We are very much focused on the quantitative, on the survey part of things. That's where we're really strong, where we've built different locations now, also in New York and Vilnius. But making market research faster, like, for example, the setup, the analysis part, and in the end, also the display of results in a dashboard faster is a good thing. Making it easier for users also, obviously, always wanted, and making it more efficient, so also more cost efficient, super important. But there we can see a direct link to what a colleague also told us earlier. There's a lot of different topics that are in market research. So we, for example, are focused on brand studies, we do product studies, we do packaging studies, all that kind of stuff. And what we've noticed then, if we work with open text data, that, well, it's actually not that simple to do, right? Because there's a lot of different industries involved. There's a lot of different study types. And 1 year back, there wasn't actually a, let's say, general AI or general supplier that could solve the problem for us. How can we actually make it all as easy as our platform is? So not only the quantitative part, but also the qualitative part. This is basically where then Simanto came in.
That's perfect. Thank you, Matthias, for going through that as well. So what is like the main use case that you're really using for it at the moment? So what kind of data and what kind of speed in terms of data does that actually help you work with?
Yeah, so generally speaking, I do have a market research background from market research agencies, and the most studies we did in the past would take a couple of weeks, let's say. And we drove that speed down with Quantilope to about 1 to 3 days for a study. This is all fine and good if you have only quantitative data. It's quite, it's not easy exactly, but it's doable to automate it. When we talk about qualitative data or open text data, then yeah, it's still lagging behind. The field is still lagging behind. So it's done manually in a lot of cases, or done in a semi-automated way. And so our results are already ready, but we have to wait 1 week to get the results of the qualitative part. That's obviously becomes a problem if your customer wants to have the results like really fast. And this was the main issue that we were facing a year ago.
Fantastic. And so now that you've used the tool for a few weeks, and to be honest, you've really helped us build it as well. You're one of the first companies together that we really saw that we could work together closely to help building this tool. what kind of features would you love to have in the future, actually? So what would make your job easier? What kind of, is there any kind of analysis that you prefer to have? Is there anything more regarding the usability that you would like to have going towards the future in the next few weeks?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So like we said, it's just a start basically, and going forward, there's a lot of stuff that we can do with open text data, qualitative data from surveys. One thing for us, as we are a end-to-end platform, we actually love to have API integrations directly into our system, so we have a seamless user experience, right? And that the open text analysis can also be done within our platform without using a second platform, but behind this the curtain, let's say, still using your amazing algorithms. That's one use case. And another use case comes more down to what Yuan already alluded to. Sometimes you really need industry-specific models, because a really general model, so one size fits all, you can have like an 80-20 kind of results, right? But to go all the way to make it like perfect, we do need industry-specific models that are also adapted for survey data and not open text data from, let's say, social media, for example.
Perfect. Yeah, thank you for that input. So I think on both fronts we're working on it. I think Yuan showed some of the work on the custom AI parts, and regarding to the API access, we're actually currently building this, and it will be ready in the next sprints that are coming out. So thank you for that feedback, and looking forward to working more closely in the future.
Absolutely, thank you.
Yeah, maybe we can mention here also very quickly, actually Quantilope is really one of the first partners we've partnered up in this project, in this product itself too. So they were actually really helping us when we met. They said, okay, it seems like our tool we can build up together into this kind of product. And that's why we actually appreciate also much more about the patients and everything. Yeah.
So I think now, so thank you, Matthias. And I think now the floor is open. If anybody has any questions they would like to ask at this point, please type them in and we can see if we can answer anything here.
I have to see it here. No. Oh, now, yeah. Now we're waiting here for some questions, if there are any, and you can type them in here. Maybe I just see there also something in the chat function. Ah, okay.
Yep. So the recording, yep.
Yeah. We will share the recording afterwards. We're gonna get back to you once when we have edited everything, and then you will get the recordings also for every attendee here.
Good. Could you please show the structure of the uploaded Excel file with the hierarchy of topics?
Yeah, sure. We can do it once more. Yeah, 1 second, please. Is it stopped?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you see the screen again? What did you attend? Okay, perfect. So first of all, I will first answer the first question here of the structure of the uploaded dictionary hierarchy topics. You can see here, like we have here different tokens, topics, and subcategory and category as well. And this is actually the way, like how you have then, what we've done first is to use the tool to build this hierarchy, and then we exported it so that we have this kind of a view here. Okay, so this is the structure. I go to the next question. Just wanted a clarification about the dictionary. Is that something that you provide, or would they need to be built by the user? So that's exactly what we talked about earlier, because actually the tool itself gives you the possibility to build it by your own as well, with the help of the firstly identified topics that which are already categorized or clustered, I would say, together. But we offer the help right now at the very beginning, also as Matthias said, especially for some specific industries, or when you say you have a customized data set in which you want to use a customized hierarchy structure, then we'll help you to build it at the very beginning. So that's the new kind of a solution we are offering here as well. Are there any other questions? Doesn't seem like.
So I think if that's the main thing, I think we're going to share this recording to everybody afterwards. And we'll be available for any questions afterwards in the next coming days. So if you have anything, just drop us a line, an email, and we'll get back to you straight away. And if anybody wants to start testing this as well, there's a way to do this. So just get in touch with us and we can start testing this too. And we'll help you also build your first custom dictionaries. And I think that's so anybody on this webinar who wants to build a custom dictionary and so that we get much more specific to your own needs, we will help you build the first ones.
So just reach out, let us know, and then we'll be there for you. Thank you very much for attending the first webinar. There were some hiccups. Hopefully still you enjoyed it and it was insightful for you. And yeah, looking forward to hearing from you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.